This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. Two leading academics are sharing their thoughts on the newly released Chilcot report as part of a public conversation. They say the document calls into question the decision by Tony Blair to commit British troops to the US-led invasion of Iraq. But they say it's unclear yet whether it will have consequences for those involved in the planning of the conflict.
Conversing about conflict. Professor Roger Clark is being hosted by Otago University's Centre for Peace and Conflict Studies, taking part in a public chat with the centre's director, Kevin Clements. One topic up for discussion is the recent release of the Chilcot report, which casts doubt on the legality of Tony Blair's decision to send troops to Iraq. It's a view shared by Clark, who was based in America at the time.
But certainly the whole run-up and the relationship between Blair and Bush and so on is important. And, I lived in the United States through this, and we knew that the arguments they were making were spurious. And we as, I think, the vast majority of the American population, but certainly those of us who had thought about it. And I was always embarrassed for Colin Powell that he made that presentation at the United Nations, and I think he sincerely believed it.
His sentiments are echoed by Clements, who says he vividly remembers the moment Blair chose to go to war.
I was in 2003. I was in London with 1.3 million other people waiting to protest about the government's decision, because we realised that the evidence for it was shaky, that it was a war of discretion rather than a defensive war, and that the consequences of it were going to be dastardly. So all of the things which Chilcot has come out, has released in his report, were in a sense a vindication of what we all knew at the time.
Both men say they agree with the new report authored by Sir John Chilcot, a 2 million word report that's making waves throughout the world.
Despite explicit warnings, the consequences of the invasion were underestimated. The planning and preparations for Iraq after Saddam Hussein were wholly inadequate. The government failed to achieve its stated objectives.
Daryl Baser, 39 Dunedin News.
A 30-year-old man has been arrested in relation to an alleged serious sexual assault of another man in the central city. The incident occurred on the 26th of June. The offender was dressed as a woman and was carrying a jacket and handbag at the time of the offending. The man will appear in the Dunedin District Court tomorrow morning, charged with sexual violation and assault with intent to commit sexual violation. Local secondary school students are getting a taste of life in the construction industry. They've toured some of the city's trade-based businesses as part of a nationwide campaign, and it's all in an effort to showcase post-study opportunities.
More than 1,000 hand-picked students are spending the day visiting construction-related workplaces around the country. It's part of the Building and Construction Industry Training Organisation's second annual tour. The event helps introduce students to the opportunities available in the industry, while also showcasing some of the innovations taking place.
It gives them a real purpose as to they can see what's out there, and it's really good for them to have the hands-on experience as well and just have a go, see if it's something they're interested in, and it gives them a purpose for what they're doing.
The program allows students who may not necessarily thrive in a typical learning environment see what they may be able to accomplish working with their hands.
Yeah, it's alright at maths and stuff, but I'd like prefer to do the hands-on stuff rather than the office, but then again you need both things to do the job, so yeah.
The tour also helps guide a path for school leavers, so those who decide they want to start an apprenticeship can be confident they won't struggle to get work.
We've been talking to a few of the employers that have been through Gateway, and they're keen for a number of our boys to take on apprenticeships next year. So it's really promising, and it's really good to get out and about and meet some different employers as well and make those connections in the community.
The tour is giving students critical insight into the industry and hopefully helping pave the way for some potential future leaders in the New Zealand construction industry. Johnny Appleby, 39 Dunedin News.
Several contractors have been on site at the Dunedin courthouse today, signalling the next stage of the recently promised renovations. Last month, Courts Minister Amy Adams announced the necessary funding had been secured to restore the historic site on Stewart Street. Interest was received from 11 contractors, with Adams hopeful that one would be appointed by October this year, showing the community that progress is being made. The funding for the restoration sits in a tagged contingency fund in the latest budget, meaning its total figure isn't disclosed. The reason is to protect commercial negotiations and ensure taxpayers get the best price for the restoration work. Dunedin school pupils have helped launch the city's International Science Festival for another year. They've gathered at Forsyth Bar Stadium for a fun-filled day of experiments, and it's just the start of what's set to be an action-packed program.
For the love of science, more than 1,000 local school children are taking a break from the classroom to get stuck into learning. They are taking part in a large-scale science experiment, but like all good tests, it's not all going to plan. But just as class was about to be dismissed,
what happened there? Yeah, it's a bit cold. Dunedin winter. Takes a bit longer than it should do.
the experiment is the biggest science class demonstration in all of Australasia. It's the first event of many planned for the city's International Science Festival, and director Chris Green is pleased to see the kids getting into the topic.
I think it's just, once again, science is just an incredible part of our life, and it's about showcasing to them that science is more than just what we see on a video or in the classroom. There's so many different ways that we can learn about science, you know, and these kids turning into neurons and different things, it's just another way in which they can learn something new, and they're not going to forget what they've been doing today.
The main idea of the experiment is to demonstrate on a large scale how the brain works and responds to everyday life.
What we are demonstrating today as part of our big ginormous science class is how sleep can be important for the removal of waste products that accumulate in the brain during the day through normal brain activity.
It's a clear hit with the children taking part, with many lessons that won't be forgot.
It was really interesting on how the brain works and how we send messages.
He talked about how the brain works a little bit, so that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it was very cool. It was nice to see all the science behind it being demonstrated in such an effective way.
The motto of this year's International Science Festival is to be curious, something these guys are certainly doing. Henry McMullen, 39, Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, Vogel Street is about to come alive to the sound of music and other things, and local students get noticed in a worldwide design event.
Hi kids, if you'd like to enter a competition and win a trip for you and two friends from home to school in a fire truck, see the competition details below.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
Mobility Solutions Centre Dunedin provides products to improve your independence, comfort and safety. Contact the team at 4777 195 or visit mobilitysolutioncentre.co.nz.
Wooltech have the experience and the expertise to supply a wide range of high-quality New Zealand-made products and can manufacture customised products to meet your individual requirements. Wooltech, great people, great products, great service.
Driving Miss Daisy is a safe, friendly and reliable companion driving service.
Hello Jane, where are we off to today?
We form genuine friendships with our clients and help them to remain independent. Thousands of Driving Miss Daisy clients and their families love our caring, affordable service. Call us today for a quote on 0800 948 432 or visit drivingmissdaisy.co.nz. Driving Miss Daisy, for the gift of independence.
Thinking of services for older people? Think Enliven. Enliven is a service philosophy where people come first. Enliven is about choice, activity, relationships, respect and security. You can enliven your health, your friendships, your life, no matter what your age. For more information, go to psotago.org.nz or call 4777 115. Come one, come all to the Lana Castle Winter Ball. Traditional dancing, dining and fun to be had. Dress up in your Victorian costume and experience the glamour of yesteryear and witness the address of the haggis. Friday 22nd of July, get in fast as tickets are limited. Call 4761616 or go online to www.lanarkcastle.co.nz.
Mums and dads, we've got a great competition for you too. You can win a fire extinguisher and a fire blanket for your home. Just see the details below.
Welcome back. Proposed changes to simplify interview processes for taxpayers are being welcomed by Revenue Minister Michael Woodhouse. Today's release of an Inland Revenue discussion document is the sixth in a series of public consultation papers. It seeks to improve the administration of tax on income earned from investments, allowing earners to meet their end-of-year tax obligations with less documentation. Woodhouse says it's more efficient for Inland Revenue to collect that information direct from taxpayers and use it to pre-populate their records. Submissions on the proposal close on August the 19th. And on that note, let's take a look at today's markets. The NZX 50 has closed the day up 30 points, it's now at 7,008. The Dow Jones is up 78 points. To the exchange rates, and the Kiwi dollar is down against the yen and the pound, but we are up against the greenback, the Australian and the euro. The city's warehouse district will once again take on a festive atmosphere when the Vogel Street Party returns this year. The event attracts families, artists, performers, food vendors and musicians, and coordinator Brendan Christie joins us now to talk about what's next. Good evening.
How you going?
What's new for this year's party?
Well, so the party's sort of continuing on our theme of being all about Dunedin and our Dunedin communities, our art, our fashion, our lots of music and things going on. So our theme this year is connections. We are looking at trying to get people to connect within the city, to collaborate and to put on exhibitions of an artistic sense, but also, as well as that, trying to encourage people to come and share how they're connected to the rest of the world and how Dunedin is connected to the rest of the world. So in saying that, like, you know, there's all this problems in Britain and we've got all these problems in the US and things about people not understanding where they're from, or we want to try and break down those barriers and get people to not realise in Dunedin that we're all from different places and trying to encourage people to come and share their stories, essentially.
How hard has it been to ensure this festival's future?
Yeah, it's been like we've had troubles, but every time we sort of put it together, there's been a lot of public support for it, and that's sort of just kept driving us forward. This year's gotten a little bit easier. We've managed to acquire a little bit of funding to help pay someone to coordinate the event, in addition to some extra help they do. And Also, there's lots of businesses and sponsors and things like that will really encourage the party.
Who's on board to help you?
So I'm a member of the trust. So there's about 4 or 5 trust members, and we are there's 5, but there's 4 of us that are active in trying to keep and putting on the party this year. And we have a coordinator who we've just employed to basically put together and help with administration and things like that, which has been a big help.
What's going to happen if the weather does not come to the party?
Well, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a street party if we didn't have that issue. I think in previous years we've always had a backup day, so we've always held it on a Saturday, and if the weather is absolutely bad, we're going to postpone it to the Sunday. We have had a lot of, previously in the last 2 parties, a lot of things indoors, which has been great, but due to the, I guess, part of the success of the area and a lot of the buildings that we've been using have actually starting to be not vacated. What's the opposite? Inhabited.
Tenanted.
So tenanted, yeah, which is great, but it's not so great for us. But we'll get around it, as you always do.
Will there be any particular buildings open to have a look through it all this year?
Oh, there always are, yeah, and there's always sort of the ebb and flow, and part of what the party does is to show you the change and the flow of the area.
It's starting to look pretty wonderful. What's your favourite part of being involved in the planning for this event?
I just love what people get out of it. I think getting different communities in Dunedin to come together and getting people out of their homes and seeing a lot of what solely Dunedin has to offer. It could be with music, could be fashion, could be with art, could be with even just architecture. Getting them out of their homes and actually witnessing and celebrating the things that are going on here is really rewarding for me, and I really love to see the smiles on people's faces. And we had plenty of great footage and photos from last year that would just give you a warm fuzzy feelings when you see people enjoying it.
Do you think the event's got a long future?
We're definitely vying for that. I think part of our strategy when we sort of came up with the party was it was a street party that changes with the times. So hence our themes change with the times, and we try to focus on something that's topical for Dunedin. So last year we had the UNESCO City of Literature status, and we themed it around that. So this year we invited a lot of Syrian refugees coming into Dunedin, and we thought, well, what a better way to sort of share, all of us share our own stories about where we've come from and how we came to be in this city.
Vogel Street Party Coordinator Brendan Christie, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, a pod that may reduce stress draws worldwide attention to 2 local students, and we'll check out weather for the end of the working week.
Emu oil has been used for centuries to support joint mobility and tired muscles. Also helpful for supporting healthy skin. Available as oil or in capsules. Go to www.silverhorn.co.nz to order emu oil today.
Hi kids, if you'd like to enter a competition and win a trip for you and 2 friends from home to school in a fire truck, see the competition details below.
Wooltech have the experience and the expertise to supply a wide range of high-quality New Zealand-made products and can manufacture customised products to meet your individual requirements. Wooltech, great people, great products, great service.
Mobility Solutions Centre Dunedin provides products to improve your independence, comfort and safety. Contact the team at 4777 195 or visit mobilitysolutioncentre.co.nz.
We're a 25 Moray Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
come all to the Lana Castle Winter Ball. Traditional dancing, dining and fun to be had. Dress up in your Victorian costume and experience the glamour of yesteryear and witness the address of the haggis. Friday 22nd of July, get in fast as tickets are limited. Call 4761616 or go online to www.lanarkcastle.co.nz.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
And mums and dads, we've got a great competition for you too. You can win a fire extinguisher and a fire blanket for your home. Just see the details below.
Welcome back. South African Rob Walter has been appointed head coach of the Otago Volts for the next 2 seasons. He takes over the side from current coach Nathan King, who resigned midway through his contract following a disappointing season. The move will see Walter leave his job as coach of top-level South African cricket franchise, the Titans. Otago Cricket Chief Executive Mike Coggins says he's pleased to have secured Walter after a worldwide recruitment search. Walter will begin his employment with Otago Cricket at the start of September. A pair of local students have received an honourable mention in one of the world's most prestigious design events. Second-year students Kat Jackson and Victoria Hoskin came up with an idea for a pod to offer sanctuary from the stresses of the outside world. It was devised as part of a 14-week interior design project at Otago Polytechnic's School of Design. The pod's sensors can measure biological responses to stress, such as heart rate, to help tailor the experience to the individual. It featured alongside hundreds of other entries from around the world in this year's International Innovative Minds competition. And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. The city's International Science Festival has kicked off a day early with a science-based schools event at Forsyth Bar Stadium. A law professor up for a Nobel Peace Prize is weighing in on the newly released Chilcot report into the Iraq War. And local secondary school students are getting a taste of the construction industry by touring the city's trade-based businesses. Time now to find out what's going to be in Friday's edition of the Otago Daily Times, and Dave Cannon joins us. Good evening.
Vicky, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Our main story tomorrow comes from the courts. It's a bit of a sad story about a chap who was sentenced today for injuring a baby. And there's been quite a lot of reaction to the apparent gentleness of the sentence this chap's got. So we're giving that quite a splash tomorrow. There was a dramatic rescue today of some surfers out braving the cold out at Smails Beach today. We've got some great photographs from there and a bit of a story. And another high-profile manager from the DCC has resigned. So that's quite a few now that have gone. We're getting some background details to that. And also the Reserve Bank Deputy Governor is going to be talking later tonight about the housing situation, so we hope to get into that for tomorrow's paper as well. And the Wash is having a look at street names in Dunedin, as is a news story about the same thing, about the use of certain names for streets in Dunedin, so always causes a bit of interest.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
That's tomorrow's ODT. Thanks, Dave. Time now for local weather.
This 39 Dunedin News weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn's Emu Oil.
Here is our city view, and it's taken of something potentially suspicious being tossed overboard in the harbour. Around the city today at 3 o'clock, 9 degrees in the central city, 11 at the Gardens and 12 out on the Tyree. To the situation, and a ridge of high pressure continues to hover over the South Island. Around the region, it means fine weather with easterlies for Invercargill, Gore and Tianau. Some cloud though for Alexandra with southeasters and a high of 9. And some cloud with southeasters for Queenstown, Oamaru, Wanaka and Twizel, and highs of around 8 or 9 degrees. And Dunedin tonight, cloudy with a low of 3. Tomorrow, more cloud and southeast winds with a high of 8. And on Saturday, becoming fine and sunny with frosts likely in sheltered places and a high of 11. And to the Otago Pellet Fire's tidal and fishing information, high tide tomorrow morning is at 6:30. Low tide follows at 1. And fishing conditions continue to be below average. And that is local news for Thursday. We'll join you again tomorrow. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.